Okay, so the next one. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a polygon cylinder. And let's just take the cylinder and I'm going to pull it up here. Let's just do my little thing where I go boink there. And I'm just snapping. I just snapped the pivot point down to the bottom and then I snapped it to the top of this thing. And I'll just scale it up a little bit so it looks like it's sitting on top of this plinth. And one thing I've got to do right away for this one here is I'm just going to go into the UV texture editor and just want to mess with the UVs a little bit. I'll put on the border edges so you can see what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to grab these edges and I'm going to grab these edges and I'm going to go ahead and cut them. And then if I go over here and I grab, say, this edge loop here and this one here, and if I hit move and sew, all these things are broken up into little pieces. They'll all fit right across the top like that. Okay. One other thing I've got to do is freeze the transformations, kill the history. And I'll just hit the unfold button. Boop! And there, it does something wonderful like that. And I'm going to hit the layout button. I'm just going to check out layout here. If I look here, rotate none. Okay, great. And it's based on world, so I'll just hit layout UVs. It does something like that. I'm just going to do a little bit of something funky here. I'm just going to pull this up a little bit more. Okay, great. Something else I should maybe do as well is here I'm just going to insert an edge loop. And right now the edge loop, you'll see it instantly adds in here. I'm just going to go over here. Instead of relative, I'm going to put it on multi. I'm just going to make sure all these things are square. Something like that. Okay, so that means that... actually, one other thing I might just quickly do... See, I can't insert an edge loop into this very easily, so if I go in here and I grab all these faces, I'll just check I got those faces selected here. Okay, great. Another thing I could do is just go and hit this, use a little bit of offset action. There. And kill the history. And actually, one other thing I just realized is by doing the extrude, I should probably watch my UVs here at the top. And if I grab all these UVs like this, and I do something like shrink selection, you'll see now it just... Oh, you bastard. I thought I was being clever. What if I grab these UVs, and those ones, and I go like this, and I say grow selection. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, and I probably just hit unfold there. Actually, and those are all... Here, I'm just going to grab these. I'm just going to pull them back inside the 0 to 1. Okay, great. Good enough. That's fine for what I'm trying to achieve. Okay. Now, I want to go into the attribute editor. Whoop. And here in the attribute editor, if we go to attributes, V-Ray, and I turn on subdivision, and I go and I turn on subdivision displacement quality, and I can put on displacement control if I want to. Okay. And if I go into the V-Ray attributes, you can see them there. Okay, max of subdivision 0. I don't want to round the edges on this one. I don't care about that. See, I'm getting some kind of bug on my system because I didn't put on the enable round edges on this thing. Anyway, this one here, I only need this to be at, say, 4. And we'll just check it out in a render. Okay. How come this object is sharing this thing? Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm encountering a bug that's rounding out this object when I don't want it rounded out, but this one here is doing fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep working with this, and I'll finish this video off, and I'll figure this out afterwards. Anyway, I want to round this out, and now I want to give it some shape. So I'm going to go and get this a brand new V-Ray material. Okay, and let's go into the V-Ray material. And if I can find the V-Ray material shader group here, right? Go like that, find the shader group. You can sometimes go up to focus and you'll find it here as well. Sometimes you have to go into the hypergraph to find it. I'm going to go to displacement material and I'm going to apply a ramp. Here in the ramp, let's get rid of this. And I'll take this blue and I'll make that black. And I'll take the red and I'll make it white. Okay, if I put this about halfway like this, what you're going to see is when I render, there, it's pushing the white's pushing this area out here, and the black is pushing that area in, or in this case here, kind of keeping it there. It's not pushing it at all. If I were to go in and, let's see right now, the interpolation's on linear, so that's why we're getting these kind of straight lines here. I put on smooth. You'll see that these things will blend a bit more. There. Okay. And I can go in and kind of, let's go and put another one, say here. I'm kind of guessing where the UVs would be lined up, right? Based on the UV text editor that I had outlined up earlier. Okay, so for this object, I'm guessing that the UVs down at the bottom and the top corresponding to this thing. So there, if I go and I do something like this. Okay. And put another black one here, put a white here, take that thing. Boop. This black one, drag it up here. Okay, and maybe my white section here is a bit heavy-handed. Take this white, I'll drop it down halfway, take that one here, so they don't come out quite as far. There we go. And I think in class I did something kind of weird like this. I had this other one of these here, and I went and I used one of these gradient lines here and I mapped it with another ramp. Take that, and I'll make that black, and I'll take this one and I'll make it white. And I could do this a couple different ways. And let's just do this, do that. And this one here is a V-ramp. The other one was a V-ramp as well, but if I take this one and make it into a U-ramp, now it's going unilaterally. Okay, it's wrapping, and so you're actually seeing the lines up and down instead. I could go in, pop. Actually, let's do this first. And let's do this. I can go in. There we go. And let's check this out. Now, if I was to go back one here, you'll see that this is hooking up in here. There's one other problem, though. It's only hooked up on one of these gradient lines, so it's fading. So if I went and I look like this, I'll see these little cuts in here. Those are pretty drastic cuts. If I go into the Hypershade, what do you got? 853. Okay, and if I took this thing here and I went and I hit this button, there's the double arrows. It shows me how this whole thing, how it's hooked up. Let's move this over a little bit. And if I want to, I could select this other gradient line here and I can hook that up to that selected one as well. Whenever you select these little things, you'll see they've got a little black arrow that indicates they're hooked up to this thing. And now, if I render, you won't see it fading off quite as much. These are pretty heavy-handed overall. So if I go down to that map here, this thing, I wanted to make it a bit more subtle. I could just probably go right into the color balance here. And I think, actually I'm not sure if it's going to hit this one or this one right away. I think I have to go to the color gain. Nope. if I take this one and I push this up a bit, yeah, it's the black one that's causing me the issues. I'll bring this back, pull that up, and yeah, because the black is pushing further back. There we go. So I'm getting something kind of interesting out of that. I could switch that from linear to smooth as well. And I could also do one other thing too. If I go along the, since it's unilateral one, repeat UV, what if I repeat that, say, 5 times? There we go. And I could play around with this for a little while. I could also instead make this diagonal or something like that, do some other kind of ramp thing, but I'm just horsing around. And I guess this video is done, and I'll finish this off in the next one.